I do liken it to 1985, and I have pictures from the old factory of when that was first started. You have an opportunity to go in and see that thing when it was first born, so it's kind of a cool thing to do, to take that opportunity. And for you guys that were here 3 or 4 years ago when we launched the amplifier and the acoustic, it's kind of the same thing. Those programs have really started taking off, but a lot of you guys were here to see the first of the product that we made, so it's just a neat opportunity. So I've got a few pieces here that I want to show you. I hope you can see this okay, but I grabbed some pieces from the shop floor, and I'm going to show you some of the fundamental differences between our core line and the S2 line, all right? So, you've been in the factory, you've seen the way we make guitars. This is a piece of 12-quarter. This is a 12-quarter neck blank. Wonderful wood. You guys know we source the woods. We are very picky about the woods that we buy, and we dry them very carefully. You guys also know that the trick to keeping any guitar in tune is to have a very stable guitar. Tension will change your tune. A neck moving around changes your tension. Therefore, a neck moving around is evil, and we will have none of that. So what we do is we start with excellent material, quarter-sawn neck blanks. You know, there's all the tricks that I've learned over the years that Paul's taught me on how to determine what is a good neck blank and what is a bad one. We apply all of that in all of our guitars. But we start with a really large piece of wood, and we dry it thoroughly. Another thing Paul taught me a long time ago is you can't cut too much wood off at once. The neck will freak out, and it'll move in all sorts of ways that you can't have. So the way to build a core guitar, one of our guitars, is you have to take a very small amount of wood off. You have to let that thing sit. It has to move. You resurface the fretboard area, then you take a little more wood off the next day. And you do that over and over and over again until you have a PRS core neck. That process takes about a month. It takes about a month for us, once we started the cutting process, for that neck to serpentine its way around that manufacturing line, and you arrive at a very stable instrument. We know that if we speed it up, that neck will move. You will not be happy. That guitar, you'll fight it for the rest of your life. It'll never stabilize. It'll keep moving around on you for a really long time, so we don't do that. So one of the ways that we've switched up between our core and the S2 line is we start with a piece of 6-quarter instead of a piece of 12-quarter. So the material we're working with is much thinner. So on the one hand, we're buying less because there's less material to buy. On the other end, you're drying it much faster because there's much less of waste on the wood. You're not cutting into virgin territory so much because it's already so close to the finished dimension. What the engineering team came up with is the way to kind of pull this off is we start with a very long neck blank. We cut the end off. We have the most intense chop box you ever saw in there that cuts like jewelry precision chop box that will cut this neck blank in 2 pieces. We'll flip it, put tooling holes in it, and create a headstock that way. So it's incredibly efficient with the material. And the first thing everybody asks, or a lot of people ask, is that strong? So I have messed around with wood for a long time, and I love making wooden all sorts of things, whether it's a house or a boat or a piece of furniture or a guitar. I just like messing around with wood. Glue, 30-some years of my experience says glue is stronger than wood every time. You go to try to break something that's glued together, you're going to break the wood, you're not going to break the glue joint. But I asked the engineering guys to prove that to me last week for fun because I knew you guys were coming. So they took one of these and they put it in a body. They took a finished guitar and they put 400 pounds of pressure on the neck joint. So if you weighed 400 pounds, it would survive that if you stood on the neck joint and the body. If you weigh 405, if you ate a couple of burgers or something there, it's probably gonna blow on you.